"Look what I made," said a boy who is known to be shy, strictly follows the rules, and has a hard time expressing himself. There in front of me was a baby doll with different colored Play-Doh stuck to its head. A behavior like this may not be seen as socially significant in a larger scale, yet you may have thought, what is this mess? However, what about if I tell you that this boy is diagnosed with autism and has a hard time expressing himself? This challenge has been a great challenge to himself and his family. My work is focused on empowering and helping children and adults with different behaviors they are challenged by, anomalies, patterns, and clusters of behavior that are given labels such as ADHD, anxiety, and depression. My work has given me the challenge of trying to understand what behavior is, what motivates it, what triggers it, and what changes it. Let me share with you what I have learned. How many of us here feel a gap between where we want to be and who we are now? How many of us have exercised less than we wanted to, or slept more than we wanted to this month? So we all know what we should be doing to reach our goals, yet we act in different ways. I want to share with you a radically different perspective of how we can approach our behaviors and manage them significantly. I came across the world of applied behavior analysis in my second year of university. I volunteered with an amazing organization called Teaching and Learning Collaboration in the UK. I was then lucky enough to run and manage a youth group with them the following year, called Cadets. Applied behavior analysis is a natural science that has applications across different domains such as psychology, business, and general education. It focuses on improving specific behaviors such as communication, social skills, tolerance, like sitting or talking. It focuses on systematic improvement of socially significant behavior. So how can I better explain what a socially significant behavior is? Take, for example, a 3-year-old. For them, it may be more significant to focus on behaviors such as talking, walking, and eating. For a 23-year-old, it may be more significant to focus on behaviors such as driving, studying, and working. In ABA, we have 7 dimensions that we look at when focusing on bettering our behaviors. I want you all to think of a behavior that you want to either increase or decrease that will help you reach your desired goals. We focus on 7 dimensions when creating behavioral plans, and these assess how relevant is this behavior to the goal that I want to reach. Today, I want to focus on 3 dimensions. Using this behavior that you want to increase or decrease. Generality. Can this behavior be used in different settings with different people? Applied. Is this behavior applicable to different sectors? Is it applicable to your current means? And is it an observable and measurable behavior? Now, our behavior is constantly being reinforced, punished, shaped up, and shut down. How many of us would leave a job if it's tedious, we have an angry boss, and rude colleagues? How many of us here feel that we are tied down with some toxic relationships, or unable to share our opinions at work or university? Each behavior we focus on has a why as to why we are doing this behavior. It's our function. Through the 4 functions of behavior, we can focus on why we commit certain behaviors and how this aligns with the goals that we want to reach. So again, thinking of that behavior that you want to either increase or decrease, which function does it fall under? Is it a way to access a tangible, either a preferred item or activity? Is it for sensory stimulation, sense of fulfillment? Is it a way to escape something, a feeling, a person? Or is it a way to gain attention from a feeling, a person, or an item such as an award? So now that we have briefly understood the way we can significantly understand our behaviors and the function behind our behaviors, I want us to look at this technique into two different aspects of our lives. As holistic and diverse beings, our behavior goes beyond one aspect of our lives. Mental health performance goes hand in hand in the way we approach our exams, relationships, and work. These pictures were taken in 2018 in New Year's, where me and my colleagues would write down our words of the year and hope that we would fall through with them. Yet, after 2 to 3 days, I noticed that I wasn't being as healthy as I wanted to be or as assertive as I wanted to be. And this is what happens to the majority of our goals. We end up not following through because we focus on abstract titles. Usually, clients that come to express their mental health challenges speak of their mental health from an internal perspective and look for strategies from an internal perspective as well. Yet, what we really should be focusing on is behavior. You may think to yourself, how can applied behavior analysis be used with mental health when mental health is rarely visible? Let's take, for example, anxiety. Is it an internal state or is it an experience? Internally, we may be thinking, I'm anxious, I'm worried, and externally, it may show up as behaviors through pacing, smoking, or frowning, but maybe not. The strategies to focus on our mental health performance starts with asking what behaviors do I show when I am in this internal state. Going a step deeper, clinical behavior analysis is a stream under ABA that focuses on improving our mental health. This is a model taken from one of the therapies called acceptance and commitment therapy, researched by Stephen Hayes. He describes this model as a simple phenomenon of being human. So with this model, we look at what behaviors are we doing that will push us away from our desired goals, and what behaviors are we doing that is pushing us towards our desired goals. So it's that discrimination between the internal 5 mental experiencing and the external 5 senses. We look at the internal through what unwanted internal stuff are we feeling, and who and what is important to us at that moment. Swiftly moving on, I want us to look at applied behavior analysis in business. With desired behaviors come desired tangibles, whether that's in the form of starting your own business, finding a job, or starting a group work at university. This can be done through a stream called organizational behavioral management. It looks at the way we behave in the environment at work or university. It looks at the behaviors that we commit to and how that increases or decreases our motivation to reach our goal. When designing these behavioral plans for businesses or groups, we look at how is this organization building behavior momentum. And ask yourself, how are you building your own behavior momentum, either at work or at university or in a group setting? We focus on 2 interventions, antecedent and consequence. The antecedent is usually what comes before a behavior. So what is triggering that behavior? Are you receiving support and training? And the consequence, which is what are you gaining out of that behavior? Are you gaining constructive criticism, feedback, a raise, or tangible? We can use the world of applied behavior analysis to better our behaviors and manage them in different perspectives. And we can use organizational behavior management to focus on the positive behaviors and increasing our socially significant behaviors. We all share similar variances in fingerprints, behavior, and DNA. Yet, our fingerprints, behaviors, and DNA are uniquely ours. We have been made anomalies by virtue of the environmental pressures. And therefore, the tools to manage behavior are within us. Thank you.